everyone. This is another exciting episode of Don't Be Afraid podcast. I am your host, Jamila Oiza Muhammad Jamiu. And today, Tolu is not here, so I'm the one going virtual with you guys. I have with me here our guest, Mr. Victor Salami. And I also have Symbiat again. Mr. Victor, please could you introduce yourself, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Victor
Good
Salami.
afternoon.
I'm a social media manager and also
Mm-hmm.
a civil engineer. So basically, I'm the
Wow.
lead. I'm the creative lead of Mariposa, which is a digital agency in Nigeria. We handle social media marketing, everything digital.
That's cool. That's cool stuff. It's lovely to have you. Symbiat, please
Thank you.
introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm a journalist and a women's rights activist. So
Mm.
I think that covers it.
Thank you for coming. So, a little bit of icebreaker before we just go to the topic. It won't take long.
Okay.
No be fight, calm down. if you Mr. Victor, if you were to create a slogan for your life, what would it be?
Slow and steady.
Slow and why do I like that so much?
Me, I don't like to take things in a rush. I like taking my time. You can't rush me.
Taking your time. Yeah. I really resonate with that. This life is not. I don't think we should be moving on so much fast pace. Take it easy and
Yeah.
slowly, so you can get to feel things that are meant to be felt. What would you have
Yeah.
your slogan be, Symbiat?
I think I would say justice is human right.
Justice is human. That sounds so deep.
Yes.
It is deep.
It is deep. Because from interpersonal relationships to corporate relationships, social relationships, and what have you, you would always say that there's a room for justice,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's in just social conversations.
Mm.
And I think while in life, sometimes we are likely to just overlook it, I happen to be so particular about it. Maybe because I'm also liberal, and liberal are all about balance and justice.
Mm.
So I think I'm more of someone that goes into deep meaning of life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's as much as we're in this world, you should always look to make an impact.
That's great. Thank you very much. So, diving straight into our topic for today's episode, we're talking about unmasking cyberbullying and cancel culture, its impact on freedom of speech. And I mean, with the rise of social media and lots of things that have happened over the years, we've seen it's all started with face-to-face bullying. I mean, I was bullied a lot when I was a kid, and then it has transformed. It has gotten worse over the years now that we have social media. Social media has it really took everything to another level.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about it?
Basically,
Yeah.
I would say cyberbullying is like the act of using digital platforms like our social media generally to
Mm-hmm.
harass individuals and also companies, not just individuals. Sometimes people
Mm-hmm.
mistake this, I would say, parody accounts, parody pages as cyberbullying. Most
Yeah.
times,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, for example, there was this guy, I can't remember his name, Shola, one time. So he created a parody
Shola on
page
Twitter.
of, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So he created a parody page for the then president. I won't mention his name. The then
Yeah.
president. So then he was
Okay.
actually arrested and detained for like 54 days or 55 days. Do you understand?
Oh
And
wow.
actually, I don't see that as a crime. Do you understand? But
Mm-hmm.
people mistook it, and then I don't know. And then actually, it was free with the help of social media. They had to call for his release justice for Shola and all sorts of. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get you. So, sometimes should I say, for example, when you have a certain post on your page and
Yeah.
people want to criticize what you've posted and they probably are not doing it correctly. So instead of criticism, it now transcends to cyberbullying. How can we distinguish between legitimate criticism and an actual cyberbullying?
Okay. Basically, as I said, now, you know, in this digital age, basically, freedom
Yeah.
of speech has become paramount. Is it like the paramount issue? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
everybody's allowed to exchange their ideas and their thoughts freely. But then
Yes.
sometimes when people express this their ideas and thoughts, they get threats from brands and organizations, and even the government. You understand?
Yeah.
Most times people do cyberbullying anonymously. Do you understand?
Yes. Hiding
Yeah.
behind Fox
Yeah,
pages.
like a face, yeah, Fox pages and also and all that. So that can also be an harmful effect of cyberbullying.
Mm. What do you think, Simbiat?
When it comes to cyberbullying, I think we can all agree that it's a problem.
Definitely.
Bullying in general. And I'm so
It
sorry
is
that
a
you're a
big
bully
problem.
as a kid.
I mean, about score. Have I?
I'm
Have
so sorry. I'm
I?
so sorry. I'm so sorry you're a bully as a kid. I think in contrast to me, because I have a small stature, it's easy for people to like want to
I
test me
I
with
do
bullying.
have a small stature too. I mean, I was really
Yeah.
short and I was.
So
Let's not go there, Sha. But continue.
it's sometimes people just gauge you and think they can
Yeah.
bully you.
Yeah.
So for me, in life, I've always taken the attitude of if you want to bring it to my side
I
times
swear.
100, back, 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 back. You will collect times 100, you go collect
You
what
go
what
collect.
as this lady
Mm-hmm.
will say.
Yeah.
So the effect now spills to when we now have the advent of social media and then
Yeah.
online. So people can bully you physically and then bully you online. Then like he mentioned that because there's an anonymity to it,
To
people
it.
can now then say their mind without
Mhm.
fear of consequences.
But then I'm actually also curious as to because honestly I've also thought about it. Why exactly are you bullying someone? I mean, I did not do anything to you. Why are you bullying me, both online and offline? Why exactly do people bully people?
Yeah, who really knows? Sometimes people bully to push their agendas. For instance, um, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, you say something online and people don't really have a critic answer to you. What they will say back to you, be a woman, is you're ugly. Or look at
Yeah.
how this one is. And so sometimes people just think they're catching crews. So they can zoom in your picture and start criticizing you,
And then
start
laugh it off,
Exactly.
condemning you.
maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know, it's maybe something bad, maybe morality, maybe they were not brought up well.
Mm.
You know, we have that aspect of morality. Some people may think, okay, I think another thing is it says transference of pain. So some
Mm.
people are in pain and then they want to transfer it. Some people want to be in a power position, so they
Mm.
want to bully you, and so that they really don't working in front and you're the one working at the back
At the
and
back.
washing their clothes and doing. So there are a lot of factors into it. There's the power dynamic, there's
Mm.
the self hatred, there's wanting to speak over others, there's
Yeah.
wanting to shun people's points. No, there are a lot of things, and unfortunately, when there's a sort of anonymity online, it
Yeah.
triples, it
Yeah.
doubles. You even see some group of people bullying the minority.
That I mean
You see some group of people bullying the ones that have less power.
Mobaso
So
rest
at
in
the end of the
peace.
day,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's all about power dynamic.
Yeah.
And if they say that it favors them,
Yeah.
they can bully as much. And I think that also just adds to the attachment of cancel culture,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why I feel like sometimes we need to discriminate and differentiate it. Because when people bully you, there may not be a legal consequence for it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there can be a social consequence in which you cancel the person.
Okay.
But then it now depends on the context. What are
Mm-hmm.
you canceling this person for? For instance, unfortunately, because I'm a women's rights activist, most of my points used to, well,
Would be geared
fortunately,
towards
yeah, to be
feminism.
shared. For instance, when it comes to rape, there
Okay.
may not be a legal consequence for rape, but there may be some social consequences where people can say, oh, let's cancel this person. We won't listen to this person music anymore. We won't, this person's a bad influence. So
Mm.
it's a two sides to it in terms of cancel culture.
Culture.
There can be a social consequences of it, which can be valid and say, if you are not going to get justice legally, you can get justice socially by not
Socially.
interacting with this
With the
person,
person.
by unfollowing this person,
Mm-hmm.
by not listening to this person music. So sometimes you see celebrities wanting to say they don't like cancel culture because
It
cancel culture is
affects them.
it affects them. It's a way people can hold you accountable.
Accountable.
But for people that they are the oppressed in society, they may tend to favor cancel culture and say, okay, if I'm not going to get um, justice this way,
Yeah.
at least we
Let me
people can
get justice some other way.
socially.
Mr. Victor, what do you have to add to that?
Okay. Yeah. So like she said, cancel culture. So basically, we all know what cancel culture means. It's just like it's a practice
Yeah.
where we withdraw ourselves from associating with these people that practice cyberbullying. Do you understand? Yeah. So what I would
Yeah.
like to say about is that how would I put it now? This cancel culture can has its viewpoints. Do you understand? So yes, for
Yeah.
accountability, like I'll start with accountability part now. So then most people
Hmm.
hold individuals and institutions for cyberbullying because of their actions. So, for example, how will I put it now? Most times, one like this recent issue now of this guy that
Mobad.
was Mobad, yeah. So
Mobad
then
and the Naira Marley gang.
the social media um how will I put it? Social media sees
They
some
cancelled his
individuals.
music. Or would you?
They cancel
Okay.
not his music. No, they didn't cancel him. They didn't cancel him, but they canceled some other individuals that have been associated with him in the past, with
Yeah.
And his
Naramali,
followers reduced too.
Samilari. Do you understand? So they've I would say that's an example of cancel culture. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And also, cancel culture is also it also has its own effects. People can cancel unfairly after without having their own opinion on
The
these
facts
things.
of
Do
the
you
matter.
understand?
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I mean, as regards to canceling unfairly, I think I saw. I will take it with regards to Mobad's the current issue on ground, where some people said that I think his brother said you guys would pay dearly for accusing my brother for doing stuff that he didn't do. I think Renan Mokri also said
yeah,
something around, yeah, even though they actually bullied Mubad to where he currently is right now, i- there's a possibility that they may not have been the one that led to his death. So
definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
everybody's basically already canceling them. So what if I did not say, but what if maybe he didn't do it?
Yeah. To respond to that, I think there's a certain level of, oh, okay, Niamali may have killed or may have not killed
And that's
due
because they
to
actually
bullying.
bullied.
Yeah, which I agree with you, due to bullying. And I think some of the things we can learn from that is in real life, when these things are happening, speak up, rally up, not until when the person is denied or something bad has
Mubad
happened
spoke up.
to.
He
Yeah.
spoke up a lot
He
of
No,
has been
no, no, no.
speaking
times.
I
up
don't mean the victim
actually.
should speak up.
Okay.
Like, if you see someone being bullied in your presence, join your voices
To
to
help the
help that
person.
person, stand
Okay.
up for that
For the
person. So
person.
even if the victim, sometimes there's a way bullying can silence you. So even
Mm.
if the victim is not speaking up,
Yeah.
you that you are around,
You speak
speak
up
up
for the
and stand
person,
up for
lend
that
a
person.
voice.
But to go to your point in which, okay, you've already cancelled Naira Marley, and what if he's not the one that killed him?
Mm.
I think one of the parts where I didn't really have a problem with cancelling Naira Marley, look at the type of music he produces in the first place.
Yeah,
Look
there's
at,
that
like, he
part.
did say I am a gangster. So already when they were saying they were cancelling Mali is from 7.4 million to 7 million. My question is, why should Mali even have 7 million followers in the first
He
place?
has a target audience, people that
Exactly.
actually likes what he produces.
And that is also a function of our society. Someone already comes out to say, I am a gangster. Somebody sings songs like Soul P. And somehow it relates to people to the extent that he has over 7 million followers. You people are not shocked that he's a bully. And then you are not asking, why is bullying happening?
No, you said he's a gangster, so people already feel like, okay, gangster and bully. You won't necessarily relate
I will
being a
relate though.
gangster to
Yeah,
being a
no,
bully.
I mean I shall relate because I don't even follow him.
That means you're
And I
already
don't even
assuming
follow
that
that.
he's a okay.
So P, am I a Yahoo boy? Hey, does he look like a good role model?
Oh, okay, that's a different thing entirely. But okay, back to the point. So, in order for this to be curbed, how can we promote a culture of where if people can you can easily disagree, respectfully disagree, and
Mm-hmm.
have open dialogues with
Mm-hmm.
people, even on controversial matters, rather than going all hateful or bullying people. How can we promote that kind of culture?
Okay, I think one thing I think we can do as people is having online campaigns where we talk about all these things. You understand? When we talk about
Do
cyberbullying,
you think that's gonna work though? Online can people say a lot of things online? Do
Yeah.
they actually?
That doesn't
What's
translate
the
to
percentage of
actions.
people that actually listen to those campaigns or act on them? Because it's
Exactly.
one thing for you to say, okay, I'm campaigning, don't bully this or don't bully that, but some people it enters here and it flies out of here the next moment. So how are we gonna make sure that these people are actually s- staying true to this thing?
okay, yeah. So that's true. Sha. We can't actually force people to we can't actually force people to listen to these campaigns, but we can try to do
Yeah.
our bits, like try to advocate for people to listen and try to advocate for people to, I don't know, follow the guidelines and stuff. And also, what we can do is also having these social media platforms have like this form of censorship. Do you understand? Where
Yeah.
bullies, bullies, like I think Twitter does it now, where if you share like a false information or something, you see like a disclaimer under the post where this can be harmful or, or something like that. Do you understand? So you can have all these things
Mm-hmm.
on social media. Yeah, that can be also a form of reducing cyberbullies. Do you understand?
Mm. Cynthia, what do you think are the possible, because when you bully someone, there has to be a certain amount of danger that is tied to it. So
Yeah.
what are the dangers of cancel
Bullying.
culture and bullying?
Bullying. Okay, so I was
How
going
can
to
we
say,
even mitigate
did you
them?
watch 13 Reasons Why?
Did I see that movie? I think I probably saw it just the
A
first a
little.
little one. I
Yeah.
didn't go deep into
It's a
it.
very interesting series and it centers around bullying.
Mm.
And it shows how a girl committed suicide
Mm-hmm.
because she was bullied.
Mm.
And it also comes with a little bit of cancel culture where they said, okay, she was engaged in, maybe, okay, she was labeled a slut. And everybody in the school cancelled her. Nobody really wanted to know what happened. People called her names.
Mm-hmm.
And it escalated to the point that she died. And I think she now did a tape.
Mm-hmm.
And she recorded herself
Mm-hmm.
and give 13 reasons why she
Why
committed
should I?
suicide. And
Yeah.
it's all around bullying. So I
Yeah.
think to first go back to what you asked him, I think we can do a multi approach to end bullying in our society, such as making movies
Mm-hmm.
that tailors towards that, which also shows you the consequences. You can also do social media campaign, like he has rightly said. People may
Yeah.
not follow it, but
But
it's good.
it's
And there are like impressionable minds out there. This is one of the reasons why I'm very vocal on social media,
yeah.
because they are impressionable minds. Maybe the 50 years old, the 16 years olds can't change. But if you have 13 years old, 14 years old on social
You
media,
can start from those
yeah,
ones.
and
Yeah.
there is nobody countering any points that has to do with bullying.
Mm-hmm.
They can literally take it as a norm, and then we have more of an epidemic of bullying to us. Also, the type of music we can produce. Then the media also can play a role in that. If you highlight stories of people that have been bullied to death, people that have faced bullying, people have come to share their experiences, people have talked about how it affects them, you do a sort of campaign and stories on, okay, how this is bad. So all of these things can help mitigate it. Schools as well, teachers can help
Yeah.
teach young
Young
boys.
ones. I
And
think that's
then,
why it starts from carrying those young ones along,
yeah,
letting them know. I remember there was a time my younger siblings, I called them one time to speak to them about. I remember I was speaking to them about kindness and stuff, and how they should be kind to each other, and how they should always stand up for each other. And then I asked them questions like, okay, how this person? I think I asked them a question, and then someone said, okay, there's a time he was playing football outside, and someone tried to bully him, and my other brother stood up and he fought for him, and I was like, oh, that's so good, you
yeah.
know. So I think it's basically starts from picking the young ones along.
Picking the young ones along, teaching them,
Yeah.
and a whole lot of things. Like, also very important, let there be consequences for bullies.
Or we should
Yes,
actually
yes.
hold them accountable.
Yes,
How can we hold them
because if
accountable?
there's no consequence, why should if like there's kind of like an advantage if you're a bully,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting power, but there's no consequence for it. Like, what's deterring people from doing? And that's one of the reasons why I said I'm very keen about justice. So
Okay.
even if it is in primary school,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that has always bothered me.
Yeah.
Primary school, secondary school, up to university and whatever. You see two people fighting. One
Yeah.
person is bullying the other, but then you say, I don't want to know what happened. Nobody's right or wrong.
I think that stuff happens a lot in
It bothers
Korean.
me a
It
lot.
happens a lot in Korean movies. I mean, in Nigeria too, but we see it a lot. If you're a fan of Korean movies, you see it a
Yeah.
lot. I think one movie was this The Glory. I really recommend that you watch it. It
Oh, I
happened a
started
lot
watching
in The
it.
Glory. Bullying happened a lot there. But I think I have another question, Mr. Williams. Do you think cancel culture is a threat to freedom of speech?
Yeah, cancel culture. Yeah, no, I would say that it depends on how it will be a threat, and again, it might not be a threat to freedom of speech.
How
So,
so?
so basically, I would say that cancel culture can also serve as a form of censorship. Do you understand?
Mm.
Like Jamila said, right? So she said,
Mm-hmm.
if we have like a form of punishing all these people that practice cyberbullying.
In terms of what are the things that can happen to people when you bully them,
Yeah.
suicide, death, lack of self-esteem, when people have low self-esteem, it can affect different areas. It can affect their social life, their people skills,
You
and
see,
lots
you,
of things.
you see that low self-esteem thingy that you talk about.
Yeah.
It's deep. It's
Deep.
really, really deep. I don't know. Okay, I'll take myself, for example. I dealt with low self-esteem a lot and inferiority complex a
Inferiority
lot
complex.
right from primary school. I don't know if bullying had a play in that, but it grew with
Yeah.
me up until my university level. And I think I started letting it out, or it started leaving me during NYSC and my work here. But that shit is it's actually really, really
It's
deep.
real.
It,
It's
it, it
real and
messes with
deep.
you because you can't if it, you can't I can't actually go out and say I want to speak because I'm like I feel so less of myself.
I understand.
But I'm glad I'm getting over it. But
Yeah.
please continue.
And there are lots of people that it affects anyway. So it's not just a little thing. It can impact people's life very greatly in a negative way, which is also why I think there should be justice, there should be information, there should be a lot of things like that. And then the one that you asked him in terms of
If cancel culture is a threat to freedom of speech.
I don't necessarily think so.
Okay.
Because sometimes you hear people say they don't want to speak because they'll be cancelled. But then what do you want to say?
Do you think are their fears not valid? I mean, it's a question.
What do you want to say? Because if you come and say it's okay to rape somebody, you shall be cancelled and you deserve to be cancelled. But if you come and say maybe something controversial that I don't think people should, let's just I don't know the example I can give right now, but let's just say something controversial, not necessarily right or wrong.
Yeah.
And people try to cancel you. The truth is that you can still stand on your words. I think where it will become a problem is if big tech companies try to cancel you. So in terms of them removing your platform, removing your voices, deactivating your Twitter, I think that is going to have a problem. So
freedom of speech.
Yeah, that could have a problem to freedom of speech. But like you said, it can be a bit dicey, and we just look at it in terms of situation. Yes, there are places where cancel culture should work because law doesn't always work. So there should be a social implication to what people say. But in a case whereby maybe you don't know the fact of the matter, for instance, you come out and say you have been raped, and they just say false accusation, and they just cancel you. Remove this person. Say, now that is unfair. Now where it's going to be a problem is institutions that should now sit down to now look at it and analyze it. Is it right? Is it wrong? And companies should come in your place of work. Okay, is this right? Is this wrong? So institutions themselves should not go through on cancel culture. They should analyze it, see what is right or wrong, and then take a stand. Okay, this person is right, so we need to cancel this person. This person is wrong. Oh well, there should be a consequence for your action. But in terms, I think people should always be free to speak their mind, and everybody should work on themselves, not to be bullied.
Sorry, free to speak your mind did not mean that you should bully you.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean you should bully. It doesn't
I
mean
needed to emphasize on that.
It doesn't mean you should give false information. It doesn't mean you should do misinformation. It doesn't mean you should be disinformation. It doesn't mean you should support parties. And let's not lie, people are intelligent people. They just hide under this freedom of speech to say some nonsensical things. You're an adult. You know what is right and what is wrong.
Use your brain to think before you speak. I think Mr. Victor is back with us. Please, could you add to that?
Yeah, so another thing is most times when you criticize people online, people that can also be sometimes cyberbullies actually they try to harass people. Do you understand? So most times when you try to criticize them, it tries to turn into something else. Do you understand? And also, that I said, if you can have the organized online campaigns that tries to talk about these things, it can actually be a form to, I will not say discredit those individuals, but also shout out as a form of information to these people. You understand? And also, if our legal system, if also the legal system can also come into play, you understand? So the cyberbullies will not go scot-free. Do you understand? Those people that try to harass people online.
Okay. So I'm thinking, what responsibility do public figures have when they receive public criticism or backlash over their statements? That is, if they have any at all.
Okay. Number one, introspection. For instance, there's an issue that came up with Chris Brown. It's Rihanna. And
that was years ago.
Yeah. And there were also some complaints that he ate his girlfriends and whatever. And
sorry, he what?
He hits his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And then he came up later and said, and this person has done violence against women, has hit this person, and you people have not cancelled the person. So I don't understand why people are cancelling me. So in terms of celebrity, I kind of have some types of entitlement that I can do something wrong and I shouldn't be cancelled. So as a celebrity, you should do some form of introspection. Violence against women is still a problem. It's still an epidemic. And a lot of time you see that nothing happens to some of these people, especially their celebrities. They go on with their life, people still stream their music. They say they want to separate the heart from they have issue like R. Kelly. And people are saying, even though he was convicted of rape, they will still continue to listen to his music. They will not cancel him. They want to separate the heart from the artist.
Yeah, but I mean, R. Kelly's music was really good. We grew up listening to his music. It was really good.
I have no problem casting any piece. So in terms of, that's why I said it earlier, that celebrities are the one that usually have problem with cancel culture. But you should also take some form of responsibility. If you do something that, see, it's not only bullying that can affect life.
Yeah.
Rape can affect, a lot of things can affect that. Even you bullying someone can affect that. If you a celebrity, you're a bully, why should you not be cancelled? Do you understand? So I think celebrities should take some form of responsibility. Of course, if you are cancelled unfairly, please feel free to speak about it. Feel free to tell your side of the story. Feel free to educate people on it. But don't have some sense of entitlement that you should be able to do something wrong and you shouldn't be cancelled. That is how we begin to have epidemic. That is how we begin to have problems whereby our celebrity are morally debased people. You continue to follow them. Then they will not influence young people badly. They will not be doing ha ha. Or you will not come and say, why are we having this epidemic? These people role models are bullies, they are this, they are that. So how do you want to solve the problem if the people you give a celebrity figure are people that are not necessarily moral people? So basically, celebrities should take accountable. Make sure that whatever thing you are doing, whatever industry you are, arts, music, science, be as responsible as an individual and as a member of the society.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Victor.
That was a very good one from her. So I quite agree with all she said. Yeah.
So before we actually wrap up, what role? Because all of this, I mean, there's like I earlier mentioned, there's when you're actually physically bullying someone and when you're bullying them on social media. What is this in platforms? What is its role in cyberbullying and cancel culture?
I think a lot of platforms like Twitter, Facebook, they have all these measures in place where you can report people that cyberbully you. But also, I think they've also done some types of things that when you try to publish a post and it has to do with bullying, they may not post it. So I think more of censorship in that regard. But my only concern is that some big organizations like that, institutions like that, when they are funded, used to have agenda so that they begin to infringe on people's freedom of speech. So if what you are saying doesn't follow the agenda, they may not allow you post it. Or if somebody has truly bullied you, they may not take down the person unless there's like the person is trending and people are really, really hangry. And I don't think it should be so. So there should be some form of censorship in that.
Okay, so you actually believe that social media should censor companies that's
that harmful. What's that harmful? Bullying words, things like that. And when you see that somebody is on someone's page doing it over and over again, there should be some kind of AI mechanisms put in place, especially on online.
Where it flags it.
Where it flags it.
Yes,
and the person.
Then they are warned.
Yeah, they are warned. So in terms of government, for Nigeria, my only issue is that you may go and say something like that now, they will not take it as cyberbullying to it, and even though it's a valid criticism. So they can really take advantage of that, looking like Nigeria. So I don't really know what role the government should play in time. Maybe they should leave it to
the people,
to the owner of the platforms to do so. Individuals on platforms should check themselves too.
But you know one thing. The thing about all of this is it's the controversy that actually thrives. So should we hold social media companies responsible, since that's what the algorithm loves? Hey, this person bullied this person. That's what they begin to push. I mean, Mohbad's issue has been on our For You page for a week straight, and that's kind of algorithm that social media pushes to our page. So should we hold them responsible?
I think that if they're able to make platforms like Twitter, you should be smart enough to be able to censor some things if it has to do with bullying. Yeah, so something thrives. Sometimes the most popular opinion may not be the right one. something thrives does not necessarily mean you should not just keep pushing it if it has negative effect. Like if you are talking about someone is a victim of bullying and people
Yeah.
are fighting for that, that's valid.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody is bullying someone, like a lot of people can just go to a celebrity's page and start dropping hate comments, drop hate
Yeah.
comments. So they should be able to censor things like that.
Like
just for their mental
like they
health.
called us Mugu.
So
We
you should be
cannot do
able
anything.
to censor things like that because again, these people are human beings too.
All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Victor. Would you like to add to that before we round up?
Okay, yeah. So what I would like to add some few things. So what I can say about the social media companies, if they can have like content recommendation. So now you know how Twitter works. Twitter now, if you engage with certain posts, they tend to actually push those kind of posts to you. So let's say you try to engage on for example, let's say you've been checking out Mohbad's story for some time. So then this algorithm tends to actually push stories concerning Mohbad to your timeline. Do you understand? So if you can try to like reduce the way we engage on this post, on the post on cyberbullying, then that can also be a form. Do you understand? And also if you can have like echo chambers, like online spaces where individuals share their opinions and believe on the topic. You understand? So these chambers can serve as a form of viewpoint where individuals and companies actually share their ideas. So another thing is having having alternative platforms that prioritize thoughtful discourse. You understand? Where we can share our perspectives and perspectives for meaningful conversations. And also, if these social media too can moderate their communities, do you understand? So instead of I think Twitter does it. Like I said, Twitter does it. Like once they try to post something harmful or a false story, they try to warn the audience. They try to warn the audience about the particular topic. You understand? I think Instagram also does it too. During the COVID time, I think I saw so many warning signs on so many posts that are false and are fake. Do you understand?
Thank you very much. So all in all, honestly, I feel like we should just really look at ourselves, and you shouldn't project your fears and all of that to people's because when you even go to people's comments, I think most time people just like to project their fears and drop their fears on your comments box and all of that. If you thought of those things that you bully someone, the issue with cancel culture and the cancel is that it does not give room for forgiveness. You cannot even redeem just because it's there. It's stained, it's stained. So please, I really feel like we should watch the kind of things we say. Don't be an oppressor, don't be a bully. It's not good. People should behave yourself. Anyways, thank you so much for having us, for coming to be our guest today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Symbias. It's been lovely and insightful with you guys. Thank you. So don't forget to follow us on our social media page, DBA_podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye-bye.